Hi, my name is William Ziada, and I'm a New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film, and I'm also proud FENIX Global Artist Ambassador. Today, I am thrilled to be speaking with the renowned artist, songwriter, and producer, MATHES. For more on MATHES, you can read more about her right below this video, but in the meantime, here is a sneak peek at the amazing talent of MATHES.
I've loved you. It's habitual. Not saying it's healthy, but it's beautiful. My friends all hate you, and I probably should, but if I could wake up with you, yeah, I still would. Looking for new ways for me to run back. Can't sleep at night, having panic attacks. I tell everyone that I've been there, done that, but I'm lying.
Well, hello, MATHES. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Nice to see you and nice to meet you. And I'm so excited that the audience has got a little sneak peek of your amazing song, Hell With You. How did you come up with that song? It's amazing.
It's actually crazy. So the story behind Hell With You, when I was in college, I was like super in love with this dude, right? And me and my best friend, when we would like dissect it together, she'd always be like, the saddest part is that it's not that you'll never get over him, Sarah, it's the fact that you will get over him. Like that is so heartbreaking, because when you're in love with someone, you know, you don't think about that. You think about the now, you think about the feeling of love, of being like, this is eternal, this is forever, this is, you know, there's no end to it. And I think having that realization, kind of coming to terms with the fact that this person is not the one, this isn't the person for me, this isn't, you know, the end all be all, was really depressing. Especially for like a young girl who just, you know, is absolutely infatuated and enchanted by this individual. So that was something. When I went to go write the song, I had written all these like, I hate you, break up, like I'm over you songs. And then I was like, I'm a liar. Like I'm still completely head over heels in love with you. And the saddest part isn't that like, I'll never get over you. It's that I'm gonna get over you. And that's so heartbreaking, rather than just being heartbroken by the fact that we're over, you know?
Mathis, I love the take on that, because I've never heard a song that took that perspective. But can I tell you something?
Yes,
that's
please.
The truth of the matter. Like most people think that way, but I've never really like landed with that sense of truth that you have. And I'm sure you've gotten that from people who have listened to it, no?
Yeah, no, honestly, I think the most fulfilling part of releasing the song is having people be like, I feel like you're saying exactly what I've always tried to encapsulate my breakup or my end of a relationship in, but I haven't been able to verbalize it. And finally, you know, kind of putting it into a little 3-minute, you know, ode, it has been really, I think, beautiful for the people that do listen to my music, because I'm like, yeah, it isn't all hate, because I think a lot of my music is very like sassy, like I hate you, I hate boys, like they ruin my life. But the reality is like I'm a very vulnerable person too, and I think that's been touching people more than I expected. So
well, yeah, Mathis, I mean, look at your vulnerability is relatable. I mean, you have such an amazing talent. I love this fusion of pop and R&B that you have as well, and I want to know where that love of R&B and pop specifically came, and then when you decided, you know what, I'm going to put my own spin on this.
Yeah, so my dad is a musician, so I grew up going to school like listening to Duke Ellington and Ella Fitzgerald and listening to jazz as I grew up, like at 8 in the morning. And I remember I'm such not a morning person. I am now as I've gotten older, but growing up I'd be so angry because I'd be like, why are you blasting Duke Ellington at like 7:30 in the morning? You know? But I think, you know, the darker side to jazz and R&B is always spoken to me. And then obviously big Ariana Grande, Justin Bieber, Katy Perry, Britney Spears, you know, the hits have always tickled my fancy as well. And then when I started making my own music, I think the beginning of it, it's really easy to put, you know, a female in a very poppy box. And I love pop music, but I think the older I've gotten and the more I've seen my vision, I've been like, no, I actually really like dark trap, R&B, 808s. It'd be so funny. Like I'd go and meet with these like hip hop producers who only work with rappers, and I'd be like, give me the hardest beat you can give me. And they'd be like, what? Like you are, you know, a sassy little female Ariana Grande loving. And I'd be like, no, like I want something dark. And that's been so fun for me because I feel like I've been able to do this fusion of, you know, maybe more pop lyrics, but more R&B production or vice versa. So it's been fun to find the pairing, the marriage of the two.
I love that. Well, like Judy Garland says, it's better to be a first-rate version of yourself than a second-rate version of someone else. And you've definitely landed into that first-rate version of yourself already. And, you know, before speaking about it, I want to just cut to a little bit of the behind the scenes of the making of your recent EP, Lifeline.
Hello. It's March 3rd, Wednesday. And we just came up with the Lifeline cover. It's a photo of a photo of a photo. I think we have the cover art, guys. Come look.
Baby, you're all talk, and I'm not playing games.
Mathis, I want to know when you came up with the idea for your EP, Lifeline.
So it's really interesting. No one really knows this, but I had a title for it for the longest time that I'll share. It was actually called the intro track, which is called He's Mine. I wrote that on Valentine's Day of 2020, actually. And the day I wrote it, I was like, this is the title track. I know it, like the intro track, whatever. And honestly, I think the more I've become independent and more I've realized that my music is about me and not about the past lovers or situationships that I've had, I was like, no, it's not about he. It's about she. It's about me. And so when I was putting the songs together, there's a lyric. I was listening to it top to bottom, and there's a lyric in the intro track that's like, he my lifeline. And Lifeline just kind of spoke to me because I was like, this music was kind of my lifeline in the pandemic. You know, I think for a lot of people, especially creatives, it's a really hard time, really dark time. And for a couple months there, I just really wasn't doing any music, and I was just so sad and so depressed. And then I finally, you know, got my setup together and started self-producing and all those things. And it really became my lifeline to existing. Like my sisters would be like, let's go watch a movie. Like, let's go drink some wine. I'd be like, actually, I need to do this for my mental health. Like I need to just like work on my music for a couple hours. And when the EP was kind of being tied up in a bow, I was like, I think this is it. It makes the most sense. And then when I made that decision and I went back and listened to it, when that lyric hit, like I got full body chills the first time. And I'd heard that song like millions of times, right? Like mixing, mastering, writing, recording, all of it. And I was like, wow, like this is crazy. And so, yeah, that's been kind of, you know, the meaning behind it. This music being my lifeline, me being my own lifeline, not having other people as my lifeline. I think for a while I thought, you know, the individuals in my life were lifelines, when reality is all you really got is yourself and your art and what you do, you know?
I mean, Mathis, you bring up such a great point. And I think especially during these past 15, 16 months where people were forced to kind of look within and to really realize, wow, you only really have one life in yourself to rely on. So the fact that you almost were able to lean into this horrific experience and trauma and re-look at something you've written, but not only for yourself, but, you know, when I listen to the song, it's like, oh my gosh, I can relate to that because everyone had a certain lifeline. And like you said, for so many people, creatives or not, music was a lifetime line and continues to be a lifeline for them.
Yeah, no, totally. And it's crazy how the music industry, I feel like in the last year is become just like exploded, you know, like there's a new #1 song every week because the consumption rate is so high, because people just like, in a time where everyone felt so numb and so sad, any artist, like I got into so many artists that I'd never listened to before in this last year, just because anything new or out there, I just wanted to consume because I wanted to feel something so badly. And so I think, you know, as this, to tie back to the EP, just, you know, giving something that people can feel and feel heard and feel seen was really important when I was putting this project together. So
That's amazing, Mathis. I mean, you have such a great soul about you, such a great energy. I'm actually also a very big jazz fan myself. So the fact that like that's kind of your foundation, it makes a lot of sense. And you know, you have over 300,000 streams on Spotify, over 500,000 views on YouTube. You're on the East Coast right now, but you're about to make a big move to Los Angeles. And you know, in looking ahead into the rest of 2021 and into 2022 and beyond, what are you most excited about moving out west?
It's so interesting because I was literally just talking to my family about it last night. I'm really excited to work harder, honestly. That sounds so cliche and so like I want to work, but honestly, I feel like I want to be put in uncomfortable situations, because I think that's what makes you grow and that's what makes you make the best art. And I think LA is a very intimidating place. I think everyone's hustling, everyone's working hard, everyone knows someone and does something, and it's all about who, what, where. And I think for a person who's been on the East Coast where it's a little less like that, I mean, obviously there's an element of that in New York as well, in any big city. I think I'm really excited to be put in a situation where I'm really challenged. And also I just want to work with as many new people as possible. I want to make new friends. I want to meet new people, not because I don't love my people now. I love my people now, but I want to grow. I want to try new things. I want to explore myself a little bit more. I think the pandemic kind of brought everyone back to like their youth and like their young self and their childhood, inner child. And that's been so good for me. But now I'm ready to like, you know, try new things, meet new people, do new things, you know.
I love that you're so open to the challenge. And I think that's what makes a great artist a great artist. And you definitely have not only that quality about you, but you have an it factor about you. Because again, for someone who is so young, you're unapologetically you. And I can only imagine that with the millions of people that already know who you are, but the millions of people that are going to get to know who you are, not only with and as you create more music, but through this new social media platform, FENIX, you know, it's going to be connecting you and other artists with artists all over the world, especially in the East. And I'm curious to know about collaborations. The idea of collaborating with someone, let's just say in China or Japan or Singapore, what does that mean to you as an artist?
It excites me, honestly. I feel like some people are very stuck in the American bubble, and the reality is America's like this on the grand, like the world is so big. There are so many listeners, there's so many artists, there's so many different cultures, different genres, and like I mean, I think the whole freaking K-pop thing is the coolest thing in the world. The fact that BTS, Blackpink,
it is huge.
Huge, massive. And it's so, and obviously like that's the big scale of the K-pop or wherever world, any country, any genre, whatever. But it's so amazing because I think also they have a different type of work ethic too. Like they work really, really hard. Like the other countries work like, and they come from different places and eat different foods and have different religions. And I think that is really important for people in America who are stuck in this bubble of the social constructs and the normalcy and the standards that we live by. And I think that would be amazing. I mean, that would be a dream come true, honestly, to work with people all around the world who come from different places, different countries, different genres, religions.
Well, Mathis, I'm like not worried about you. You have such a fearlessness about you that is so contagious. You are absolutely incredible. I could speak with you forever, but in the meantime, I want all of our listeners and people watching to read more about Mathis right below this video, and please just follow her everywhere and anywhere. And by the way, your TikToks, I'm new to TikTok. hilarious and amazing. And you're an amazing artist and amazing human, and I'm so grateful that I got to meet you.
Thank you. I thank you for checking my TikTok page. It's a meme, but thank you. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you having me. This has been so fun to talk to you. You're so great. So I'm really excited about this. I'm excited about the app. I think it's gonna be awesome.
Thank you.
In the digital age, artists and bands struggle to make a living. In fact, only a small number of artists can live off their craft. For the 98% of artists that don't have the luxury of being signed to a label, it's tough. But artists deserve to live off their art. Wherever you are around the world, appreciation of music does not change. FENIX brings bands and their fans together, whilst allowing bands to properly monetize their passion. The FENIX app will directly connect bands and fans with no need for middlemen. We're utilizing the blockchain to give the power back to the artist once and for all. Join FENIX, join the change.